Y'all, I've been busy. I've been up to something. Now look at those potatoes. Ugh, ugh. Y'all, the time has arrived. We are going to work on sweet potatoes today. Y'all, it's been over 120 days and I finally have a little time to work on sweet potatoes. And the sweet potatoes, y'all, are everywhere. Let me back you up so you can just see how the sweet potatoes have spread out in the space that I have behind me here. So there's a bush under there that the sweet potatoes have overtaken. I have 3 containers, a grow bag, and 2 plastic pots. And then there's a 5-foot metal raised bed in here, but it stops right there, y'all. But they've taken that bush over the ground. They're working on that bush over there. And y'all, we're gonna have to clean some of that up because I'm scared something's gonna run out and slither all over my feet. So the first thing that we need to do, y'all, is start working on some of these vines. The potatoes are nice and dry because it hasn't rained in a few days. But y'all, I'm scared someone's gonna crawl out here and get me. Now, all of these vines that I'm trying to cut out here, I couldn't find the right scissors. Let me get the other ones. Shears, not scissors. I'm hoping these little baby ones will do it for me. But all of these vines are gonna be in the bottom of some of my raised beds. Okay, I don't want nothing to get me. So they're not going in the trash. They're not going in the compost pile. They're going to be in the bottom of our little bed. And I got a lot of beds, so I need a lot of green matter to go in the bottom of them. I have a lot of people that's been waiting for this video. And it's finally here. Some of them were trying to root themselves right here. This is one of my Japanese potatoes. They're red. It was rooting itself in the ground. I won't be surprised if some of them actually did grow in the ground. So this area was a nice place for a rabbit to hide out all season long. He'll come out and eat clovers and go back in. So I'm going to get on the back side over here, finish pulling this out, checking for crawly things, and I'll bring you back. All right. Well, I've cut it all out. There looks like there's about 20 plants in here. And if I remember correctly, I planted 4 rows, 5 in a row, which would be 20 plants. So I think for the most part, that's what we're working with in this bed, 20 plants. Now this area is a little harder to see. Look at that, potatoes growing at the bottom of the bucket here. But sticky bushes too, so I'm going to try not to get stuck over here. But I have one, this is a 25-gallon grow bag, and it looks like there are 5 plants in there is what it looks like, maybe 6. And then 2 in this little narrow pot. It's tall though, right? I think this is a 7-gallon, but it's very tall. And this is another 7-gallon pot. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 plants in there. Now we're going to save these pots for last because I'm going to pour all of this soil into this bed here, or a bed is how I'm planning on doing it. But I see potatoes in every one of these pots. So either way it goes, y'all, this sweet potato harvest is a win. This is my second season growing in the metal raised bed here. I had a 10-gallon grow pot right here that I grew in the first year. And then I put this metal raised bed in last year. We grew in here. Here are some of the weight totals from 2 years ago and last year. So our goal is to grow more potatoes this year than we did those years. All of these slips I grew myself indoors. We didn't buy any slips. So at this point, y'all, we truly are self-sufficient when it comes to sweet potatoes. And when I mean self-sufficient, I'm growing my own potato slips, and then I reuse those potatoes to grow more slips the next year. So I'm not going to the store. I'm not ordering, nothing like that when it comes to sweet potatoes. And y'all know that I'm just delaying me getting out here to start harvest because I'm scared that it's not going to be a good harvest. But let's go ahead and get to it. And we're going to start on this back side just beside me here. I don't see anything sliding around me. So we will just start right here and we will work our way down. So there are 3 types of sweet potatoes in here. Here are pictures of all 3 types. Now, y'all, I have no idea how many we're going to actually get out the bed, though. But Beauregard, they can get big, y'all. They can be lonkers. Covington, which is my favorite potato, I feel like there's fewer strings in that Covington potato. And then my Japanese red potato. The Japanese is red with a white flesh. It's not as sweet as the typical orange potatoes that I grow, but it had a very good taste, had a little nuttiness to it. It had more strings in it as well, at least last year's did. All right, y'all, let's see what we got, if anything. I'm going to try to do one area at a time. Well, there's a red one. Here they are. Okay. My red ones didn't get very big last year. That's not a red. That's a regular old sweet potato. That's not a red one, y'all. It looked red because it was small, but look at that, y'all. First one of the year. And let's keep going. Look, y'all, these are some nice ones. Nice ones. I'm trying to get an idea of how much I'm going to get from each area. And a little baby one. I think that's it, y'all. From that first spot. Yeah, because that's coming from that one. That's it from the first spot. 2 nice potatoes and this little baby one here. And the little baby ones, you can eat them as well, y'all. But here we go. The first potatoes of the year from that spot. Let's go to the next area. Y'all, I didn't see none in this one. Uh-oh. Now I'm worried. That's all I got. But I know some of my, yeah, that's coming from over there. Okay. Now this back side always does worse than that side because that side gets the hot evening sun. This side doesn't. So I'm going to keep going. I don't feel like I got anything from that spot, so I'm a little worried. That's why I start down here, y'all, because I know it don't be good. Start on the bad end so I can end on a good note. When it comes to my sweet potatoes, y'all, I don't water them very often. Not very often. And that might be against me, but I've always found them to do better when I don't water too much. But I don't know, y'all. We're not looking too good. Okay, there they are. There's some right here. Right here. So far, everything that is a potato is a nice sized potato, so I'm not mad. Just want a few more. I got one. Yeah, that goes to that one over there. Let's slide down. I feel some here, so I know I got some here. I believe that's a Covington, just because it has such a great shape. That's a nice potato. So far, y'all, I'm very happy. Very happy. This is the size I prefer right here. You have to be very careful with your potatoes because the skins on them are delicate. There's another little one. I'm just on the back row though, y'all. Just the back row. Only the back row at the moment. Now that broke off of something. Yep, there's something down here. Feel it? I just scratched it too. Oh, and I broke it. Scratched it and broke it. That would have been a nice one. Okay, that goes with that. I don't know, maybe there wasn't much back here. Back here is always the worst area, right here. And see, they're tiny. That back corner. Y'all, at this rate, we're going to be in trouble if I don't pull some big ones up from that side. Last year, I had rodents that had ate at some of my potatoes. So far, we looking good. Okay. Let's work our way down. I know there's some in this pile because I could feel them earlier. Now that is a purple one. Well, that's still not purple though. This right here is a purple root. I just don't know where it started from. It looks like it's from over there. It's a nice one. I think these go together. Does something eat that? Nope, it's just made funny. See, y'all, we got good potatoes. And y'all know I'm still eating potatoes from last year. They're not all gone yet because we were rationing them though. Let me be honest. We wasn't just eating them freely. We had to ration them. And with that, we were able to have plenty left until these came in. Now this is the exact size I'm looking for. This is perfect for me. And these mostly look like, what did I just say? Covington. That's what they look like to me anyway. There's the first red, Japanese red. All right, let's go ahead and get these potatoes out of the way. The few that I have so far. And this little piece right here, even though I probably wouldn't eat it, I could still use this to grow slips. Y'all, look at that baby. Woo! Look at that. That is this is definitely the Japanese sweet potato, and that's the biggest one I think I've ever grown. That thing is massive. Let's see how many more I'm gonna get from this spot. It's another one. I think you're coming from that way, but I'll take you. Huh. Can y'all see that? All right, let me get these out the way so you can see what I'm trying to show you here. All of these are coming from the same spot. Y'all see it? Right here? Look at that. That's all from one. Just want to make sure there wasn't another one down there. Oh, but there is. Huh. So my Japanese sweet potatoes are growing underneath my orange ones. How about that? In the very bottom of this bed, y'all, I have wood to fill up the bottom of this bed. And they still coming from this patch right here. That's a nice haul for one spot. Y'all, there's potatoes way down here. I think that's the next spot over though. I keep touching the bottom and I'm like, oh, there's another potato, but that's a piece of wood. All right, all from one spot. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 off of that one vine. And then this one snuck in from over there. There's another nice mound of potatoes. I need to go to the other side. I'm gonna have to move the camera so y'all can see this, because you're not gonna believe it's all from the same spot. Y'all look at that. That's one mound of potatoes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 in there. Let's get over here and try to get them. Y'all look at that. Look at that. Now this one got a little bit of green on the top because it was outside in direct sunlight. I feel something here, but I know that's for that. We'll put those over there because I left my basket over there. Now we'll move to the second one. And y'all notice that the harvest is getting bigger and bigger the farther this way we go. Evening sun behind me. All right, here's the next mound, I think. There it is. Another big red one. There's one right there, but that's for later. Keep going down. Here's the next bunch. Now I'm feeling like most of these are Covington. I don't really see. Well, I gotta get all of my battery went dead, so we had to get a new battery. And I gotta get all of these out the bed so we can harvest more. And I still have, I think, 6 more in this bed to go through. And y'all, I went to digging over here and I found some I had missed. So let's keep going. All right, here's the next one. Looks good. Now this is coming from the wrong place, but it's over here where I'm working. Y'all look at that. Whoa. Y'all, that's a pie all by itself. Look at that. Like that's enough for like 3 people. But that's not where we were harvesting right now. We were harvesting this other batch right here. What kind of sweet potatoes do you like to grow? I gave you my favorites. I was ready to choose a different red Japanese potato, but I think I'm gonna have to stick with that one because I'm very happy with that one now. Thank you. Bring it over to me. There's a red one. Yeah, I feel potatoes way down there. Japanese potatoes are definitely going deeper. All right, let's work on this big one right here. Y'all, look at these red ones. Now, the red ones, y'all, last year they were stringy. Maybe they won't be stringy this year. Miss Charlie's going to be careful because they'll scratch up easy, okay? Here's another red one. Make sure you lay them all the same way, though. And you laid them perfectly. Good job. Now we're on the back side, y'all. Usually my biggest potatoes are back here. So let's see how we did. Another red potato. All right, we're moving to the next batch. Again, no critter damage yet. Maybe we won't have any this year. Is it heavy, Charlie? I can get them from the basket. You left one on the ground over there. I can get them from the basket. Thank you. Thank you. Another one. Feel some that are really deep. Now, my best potatoes are usually on this back side. Y'all wish me luck. That's a nice one. And y'all, they're not misshaped. These potatoes look really good. I mean, for the most part, y'all, they look really good. And one of the things that I do with my potato slips, and I don't know anybody else talks about this, but let's pretend this is a potato slip right here. I don't put my slips in the ground like this. I lay my slips down like this, so each one of these little places right here can send roots down into the soil, which keeps them from being all bundled up together. I've been doing it for 3 years, y'all. It works for me. Maybe I'm just lucky, but it works for me, and I will continue to do that. Laying slips down versus planting them directly down like this, laying them on their side and covering them up. I know this is a good batch right here. Nice big batch. Let's get these out the way. And let's work on this batch. All right, I'm going to consider this my first lunker. Well, I had to take a break because my camera got hot. I guess that meant it was break time. So we took a break. And while I was breaking, I went ahead and got my potatoes in my wagon here. So I need to add this massive one. I didn't want to put it in there without showing it to you in the piece that I broke off of it. But there's a Beauregard. And then we will keep coming across. We're getting to the best part. I couldn't do that off camera. I couldn't do that without you, right? I had to do this with you. Let's move this out the way so you can see. Y'all see this pile of potatoes right here that we working on? I believe this is a Beauregard too. Oh my goodness. Charlie, look at that potato. Look at that. That's a Beauregard. It's the name of the potato. A Beauregard. So we did have a couple places with Beauregard in them. Beauregard gets fat and chunky. Wow. Where these stay nice and slim. This is a Covington. That's a Beauregard. And y'all, we needed a wagon this year for real. There's no way I can carry. I'm going the wrong way. There's no way I can carry that to where we're going to cure them. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. I knew better. I pulled it up and I broke off the other piece of this potato. But when you mess up your potato like that, y'all, just let it heal over. It'll heal over and it will be fine in the curing process. Or, actually there's no or. In order for your sweet potatoes to be sweet, you have to cure them. If you try to eat them straight out the ground, they're not going to be sweet. So there is no or. I'm going to let it heal itself over. I don't know why I said or. There is no or. No or. Or you eat it and it doesn't taste good. All right. I think we got 2 more batches, y'all. 2 more heels of potatoes over here. I think this is a Covington. That might not be a Covington, y'all. That one's got a little chunky in the middle. But these are all perfect size potatoes. At least I think they are. I do believe I have more larger potatoes this year than last year. So I'm hoping for a better harvest this year too. That one was going deep. Oh, there's another one. Okay. I didn't get close enough to the edge, I don't think. I'll have to come back and check the edges here. Oh man, there are potatoes down. Is that wood? Ah, that's wood. I thought I had missed some potatoes. That was wood. I think Miss Nancy told me I need to be careful on this seat. And you're right, Miss Nancy. I need to be careful on this seat. I don't want my seat to turn over with me. I think this is 2 bunches, but the last big bunch for sure. I think they're kind of growing together here. Here we go. Oh no, y'all. That thing is huge. Oh. Oh man. Oh. Oh, I broke it. And it's a red potato, y'all. This thing is massive. Ah. The top I broke off is a big potato all by itself. That's a potato by itself. That's the top of it. Oh, y'all, I broke it. I broke it. There's more potato down there. I broke it. See? That means there's more down here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't get it.
That thing is huge and you broke it?
Yeah, that's not the bottom of it.
Oh, I see it.
Oh man. It's stuck up under wood. Yeah. Yep. The side of the bed and wood. Oh, y'all, I can't get it out. This is the first time. Y'all, it's wedged in between wood. And y'all, I just keep breaking it off. I just keep breaking it. I don't even know where the bottom of that thing is. It's down there with the grubs is where it is. It's going to stay down there too. Well, that potato is going to stay right where it is. It's down there with some worms. So here's a piece of it. And then there's still a piece this big down in the bed, y'all. Yeah, I don't like my potatoes getting this big. This is much bigger than I prefer. But look at the baby, y'all. It's the baby. Rock the baby to sleep. Whoa. And the fact that there's still more down there, y'all. Let's put the baby right here. It might not even be worth eating. It might just be that big, y'all. All right. Well, I was worried about getting red potatoes. I'm not worried anymore. I don't think the red potatoes need to go as long as everything else because I don't like my red potatoes that big. But, oh, that's the top part of that. That's the top of that great big old potato. All right, y'all, let's keep, I put that in the wrong spot. Let's keep the red over here. Let's see what else is down here. Another red potato. Look at that. Another one. So the red potatoes got this front corner, which is the best spot in the bed. So it was very happy. This is by far the best spot in the bed. It's giving me the best potatoes in the bed every year. Now, I think that's it. That's what I have so far from 20 sweet potato plants out of this bed right here. And there's a few in there that are really way too big, but we'll take it. And now we got these 3 containers right here. We will start with the 2 small pots and then we'll take the fabric pot. And we're gonna work right here in the bed. Now my camera keeps overheating. So while I was waiting for the camera to cool, I went ahead and took some weights. So I'll make sure I share those with you, but I saved the biggest red potato, at least I think it's the biggest one, and the biggest orange potato, or I think that's going to be a Beauregard, so we can weigh those together. I haven't weighed those yet, but I weighed everything else in the wagon, and now we're going to work on these pots. And this potato was growing out the bottom. Oh wow, the bottom of this pot is busted, y'all. Hopefully there's some potatoes in here. I put 2 potatoes in here, and this particular pot, when I put the slips in, I did put them in straight down versus laying them flat, just because the pots are long. This pot is long. So let's see what we got. But the bottom, that's the potato, y'all. It's trying to bust out the bottom there. Let's see. I'm gonna try to dump this out the same way I would do my other potatoes, which I normally don't do with my sweet potatoes because I don't like to damage them. And there's a peanut. But this pot is busted, y'all. That potato said, I'm coming out one way or the other. Now, I didn't expect them to do well because they normally don't do well in the pots for me. They do just like this right here. They get long, but they never puff up into a potato for me. But let's see what else we got in this pot. See, there's one that was trying to grow here. It's trying to get big here. It's trying to puff up here. I'm going to call that 2 potatoes. And I don't think this pot has much in it. That's why we're doing it first. I'm not expecting much, but I could be wrong. Whoa. That was in the bottom, y'all. This was in the bottom of that pot. And there's another one down there. This is what was trying to bust out the bottom. Okay. Never had that happen before. And there's another one in there. You might not be able to see it, but there is another. In addition to these right here, they're trying to puff up. This is the one that was coming out the bottom, out of the hole in the bottom, but there's another. This one was coming out the hole in the bottom. There are 2 little pieces that was in the little hole. Now this one I'll take. I'll take that one. Take that one. The rest of these we are going to compost. But the bottom was about to burst out of that one. Let's go ahead and weigh this one so we can compare one pot to the next. Since everything in the wagon has already been weighed. And my bags are not in the best shape right now either. 2.48 pounds. I'm going to put it right here just so we can compare the 2. Ouch, don't stick me. Let's do our other plastic pot. It wasn't stuck to the ground. No potatoes trying to grow in the ground on me on this one. This is also a 7-gallon pot. It's just shaped differently. It's got humps and bumps all around it as well. Y'all, what if I did it this year? What if I really did it? In pots, I mean. I know I can do them in the bed. I feel like I've mastered that. I have definitely not mastered growing potatoes in a pot. But what if I did it this year? That would be pretty cool. I see potatoes here. There's one and it's broke off with another one over here. They're down there because this pot is tight. Just don't want to break them all up. Like that one right there. They're not pretty. That I can say. Like the ones in my bed here. There they are though. See them? One right there. Another one right there. Another one right there. And you can obviously tell they're 2 different varieties too. There's another. And I've never done well in pots, y'all. I still prefer the raised beds over pots for my potatoes, sweet potatoes, as well as the other white potatoes as well. But I got something though. Let's weigh them up. I already know the other pot did better. See, the other pot did better. It's got a whole bunch of baby little bitty ugly ones. That one had 2 or 3 really nice ones. And that is a different variety. If you can see that, that's a different variety that one is. But let's see what we got. When I pulled my slips out to put them in all the pots and everything, y'all, I had no idea what the varieties were because they were all just mixed up in water, waiting to be put outside. So until I harvested, I didn't know if I was going to get a whole bunch of any particular potato. There's no way of telling. We definitely have a better harvest this year than last year. I can already tell you that. 1.36 pounds. 1.36 versus 2.48. Now, let's compare it to the 25-gallon grow bag. And that's the last one I have potatoes in, y'all. Oh, I can't pick it up. Yeah. 2 orange kinds. Covington is our favorite. And then Beauregard is the ones that get thicker and fatter in the middle. The long, skinny ones are Covington. They got fewer strings in, and that's your preferred. And then the ones with the white flesh, those are the Japanese ones that last year they were a little stringy. This year, I think I have just as many as last year. I just got some huge ones. Last year, I didn't have any huge ones. This year, it did. So there are 5 potatoes growing in here. 5 slips, I should say, potato slips in here. I think they're Beauregard. I think. Uh-oh, something wanted to eat it. I see that's the first bite mark I've seen, right there. Yeah, these are Beauregard, I think. Yeah, that's a Beauregard. I don't know if they're all Beauregard, but you see the difference? And it's got that little reddish tint to it, a little more than the Covington. The Covingtons are more yellow. At least it appears that way. I need to move these way over here. So 25-gallon grow bag, but you can see I didn't fill it all the way up. I couldn't give that much soil to it. And I just broke the tops off of a whole bunch of them. That's a Covington. See the difference? Covington, Beauregard, I think. That's the only 2 I grow though. Covington. The grow bags are giving me weird shape ones. Those are so pretty over there. That's a pretty one. So Covington's more longer.
How many grow bags you had?
And I've never had really good luck with grow bag or with pots. But the grow bag did better last year. Nice even size. They looking good. They're still not as big as what came out the main bed though. There's some in the bottom. I'll have to wait. I don't want to break them all up like I did. All right, these are smaller, y'all. Much smaller. But I think there's some bigger ones in the bottom. There we go. See, this is why I don't like to put them straight down. You see how that's all balled up? But with grow bags, I had to make them work. See that right there? Still my best year ever, I believe. I'm gonna have to pour them out. Something ate that one. Maybe. Think something ate it. All right, let's turn her upside down. Let's see what we got in here, y'all. There's more in the bottom. I can feel them. I can't tell how many more, but there are more. And I can't waste this precious soil. This bag had grubs under it, and it had little pieces growing out the bottom. So I went back over there to see if any are in the underneath, and there wasn't. Y'all, I never clean my stuff up. I have tags everywhere. Tag right here, tag right here. That one's ready to grow off the bottom. Well, we will not need to add soil to this bed next year. Probably take some soil out of this bed and put it elsewhere because it's too full now. So that's it from the 25-gallon grow bag that had 5 slips in it is what it looked like. There's some nice sized ones in here, no lunkers, some weird shaped ones, but most of these look like Beauregard. At least these big fat ones are. Now that pot was wet. I think my neighbor must have watered that one, which is fine. They'll dry out. Oh, this might not even hold up for the weighing. We'll try. 10.78. 10.78 pounds out of the 25-gallon grow bag, y'all. 10.78. Whoo, y'all, I am tired. I've been outside all day working. All right, so let's weigh our largest potatoes. I already have that huge red potato, the Japanese potato. I already have it in a bag. And if you remember, there were 3 pieces. There's the big piece here, this piece. And then there's the 2 broken pieces. And there's still more in the bed, but here's part of a broken piece. And then here's the tip from where it connected to the stem. So let's do Big Red is what we're gonna call it. Big Red. How much does Big Red weigh? 4.82 pounds. 4.82 pounds. Big Red. And now let's do our biggest orange potato. Let's see what we're gonna get. 2.72 pounds. 2.72. Man, that other one's like twice this one. But that is the biggest red one I think I have. All right, y'all. Here's my wagon of potatoes. Let's get it in a picture where you can see it good. We won't be rationing potatoes this year. Y'all, I got a wagon of potatoes. No rationing this year whatsoever. Year supply, and I can eat as many as I want. Here's the total weights of everything that we harvested today, and that far exceeds anything I've ever done when it comes to sweet potatoes. Now, I can't eat them. I need to cure them. So I am going to go lay them in a single layer in my she shed and make sure that they're not like in direct sunlight because they don't need the sun right now. What they need right now is the heat. And they really need a little bit of humidity, but they're going to get what they get in the she shed. And then probably in about a month, maybe not that long. It depends on how cold it gets and when it gets cold. We will bring them inside and store them downstairs in my basement, which is much cooler in a dark area. But for now, I need them to cure, and they really need heat to cure. Last year, I cured them in my garage, but I don't have enough room for all of this. So we are going to the she shed this year. Y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little longer, but y'all, I had no clue that I was going to be getting 5-pound potatoes out of here either. And same space as last year, but definitely a better harvest than last year. And if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel, turning on notifications, tell your friends, your family all about it, and please share this video. So until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you hang out at Kim's Cozy Corner with me doing stuff like this. Bye.